Page 22, I am bound for the promised land. 4/4 time. I'd like to point out some things here. I'm going to start with the right hand. It has a pickup beat. Those 2/8 notes, they come out on beat 4. So it's 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. There are a lot of eighth notes here. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. You go through very carefully to get the rhythm. There, I hope. Take a look at the second line there on page 22. You have bring the thumb down because you're in this position. Just bring the thumb down here to get the chord. Lift up between the phrases. So lift up here before you do the 2/8 notes. And then in the second measure, watch the fingering. The F is third finger, and then the 8th note F is thumb. We just changed hand positions. We've been here. Now we're going to go into here. Sort of. The little finger's got to go up, but you get the idea, I hope. And we do that. In the third measure there, you have to reach the little finger up. Don't move the hand, just the little finger. Because then you have the third finger again on the A. Third line down, thumb, and then third finger. We move the hand back down. Now here you can use third finger or second finger on the E. Either one doesn't matter. But you need third finger for the D. Dotted half note. And then going on, the thumb is between phrases, so you're going to lift up. So we get a little silence in the right hand. Just the right hand, not necessarily the left. I'll talk about the left in a minute. Top of page 23, first measure, watch the rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's that dotted rhythm again. And then the rest of this you've had over on page 22, it's the same. Left hand, got the chords pretty much. The D minor chord, this is in the key of D minor, by the way. It'll be the one chord in D minor. And then the next measure is a C chord. You just lift the hand up and move it. You're going to have a little silence between them. That's okay, don't worry about it. The melody's in the right hand. That's what we're really listening to. That's what we want to hear. Second line, starting with the second measure, that chord, that's tied. Now you're going to hold that for 2 measures almost because you have a 1 beat rest. And it's important we hear that rest. So that when the right hand plays those 8th notes, at the end of the line, they got to be by themselves. So the left hand isn't playing. So that last measure, so those 8th notes are by themselves. Bottom of the page there on those 2/8 notes, you know the left hand's not playing. That's fine. Over on page 23, it's all pretty much the same as what you've already had, except the Amen. This is interesting on this Amen, because you have a C chord, and then it goes into a D major chord. You've been in D minor the whole time. And this is something that arrangers or composers will do a lot in a minor key. They will end it on the parallel major key. In other words, D minor would end on a D major key. And they do that here. It's in D minor, and the very last chord is a D major chord. And that's where that's coming from. It's kind of a neat effect. Now the road map on here, on page 23, you have first and second endings. So you do the first ending, and then repeat sign sends you back to the beginning at the top of page 22. So you do all that again, and then you skip the first ending, because once you've done an ending, you don't do it again. You're done with it. Go to the second ending, and you go down to the bottom, and then the Amen. And that just leaves the pedaling to talk about. There's not much to show on the pedaling. They're just pedaling some of these notes that are held out, some of these chords. So push the hands down and then the pedal, and lift the pedal with the hands before you go on, because there's a break, a phrase break, so we're not connecting it. So don't overlap the pedal going on. just at the beginning, when you first push the notes down, then the pedal, but lift the pedal with the hands so there's silence before you go on. Except for the amen at the end, those you legato pedal. So you push the pedal down right after you push the notes down, and then in the last measure you push those notes down and you lift the pedal and put it down again right after you push the notes down, and then when you're done at the end, everything comes up at the same time. You'll be able to see it in the play with me. It's not too difficult, I hope. You don't really need pedal in this piece at all. You can play it just fine without it. That's about all I have to point out here. Dynamic wise, they don't do much with dynamics. You can decide what you want to do with dynamics. They're starting out sort of loud at the top of it, and then when you get down to the bottom of page 22 at the double bars, that's a section break. So on the second section, now you're a little louder when you get into that. And then when you get over on page 23 after the second ending, then you're coming down a little bit. And then the last line, you come down more because you're repeating this. See, the last measure of the second line on page 23, this is loud. Second ending, and then going on after the second ending, now it's sort of loud. And then the last line, now it's soft. And that fermata at the end, the second measure of the last line, I'm going to hold for 6 counts instead of 3 because I'm doing it with a metronome. And then the amen, I'm going to hold that last measure 8 counts instead of 4 because I'm doing it with a metronome. Now they have words at the bottom of page 23, verses, where you can sing this multiple times, and if you're going to do that, then you simply keep taking the first ending and keep repeating until you get to the last verse you're going to sing, and on the last verse you're going to sing, then you take the second ending and go on. Now they have a note at the bottom of page 22 talking about modes, and they're explaining in the key of D minor, well, there's no sharps or flats in the key signature, so that would make this starting on, it's basically in a C major. There's no sharps or flats, using all the white keys, except you're starting on a D, and that's Dorian mode. It's a different mode. There's a mode for each step of a scale, and it's simply changing where the half steps and whole steps changes the tone. Used a lot in jazz, used a lot in Baroque music and vocal music and stuff, and that's what this is about. It's a Dorian mode piece until the end, then they switch to a D major. Sounds D minor. The idea is D minor has one flat in the key signature, so if it were truly in D minor, supposedly, they would have a flat in the key signature. Doesn't matter that there are no B's in the piece, and there are no B's in the piece, because if there were a B, it would be a B flat. The point is the key signature. But I just say it's in a D minor anyway, because I'm lazy. It's really a Dorian mode. But I don't want to get into I won't too heavy on the music theory. There's all kinds of videos on music theory. You can get into those. So let's play this together slowly, just to check the notes and the rhythms. So the right hand is here. Left hand, foot's on the pedal. I'll give us 3 counts and we'll play it together. 1, ready, and go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Two, repeat. And 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3. 1, 2, 3. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. Hold. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Off.